This is a special occasion as this episode marks the 4th anniversary of the Standard Critic. Ever since I started with the first episode with my low-budget celluloid camera, the series has evolved with these 39 episodes of me just sitting down and screaming at a bad movie. I think this calls for a celebration. What do we have lined up for today? Oi, what? The Exorcist prequel? But I already reviewed it back in 2018. The Exorcist, the beginning. What is this new film? What? You gotta be bullshitting me. This is not a joke, people. It turns out that there are two versions of the Exorcist prequel, very different from one another, and the behind the scenes is very interesting. This version was made first as a psychological horror film under the direction of Paul Schrader, the guy who made Mishima First Reformed. But the studio wasn't satisfied with his cut, so they hired Rennie Harlin to reshoot some of the scenes to add more gore. But somehow they got pushed into reshooting an entirely new film, which is the one I reviewed. But of course it turned out to be bad, and didn't make as much money as they were hoping for. They went back to finish Schrader's version, but guess what? It also sucked, and this time it only got a limited release, making even less money. With that said, let's take a look at the other Exorcist prequel, Dominion. Just as a heads up, only half the actors appear in both versions. For example, Father Merrin, Chuma and the Major are played by the same actors, while Father Francis and the nurse are played by other people. We start off in Nazi Holland where we meet Father Merrin, played again by Stellan Skarsgård, who confronts a Nazi general who wants revenge for the murder of a soldier.
These people confess to you?
Yes.
So point out the one who's responsible.
No one here did this, Lieutenant. They aren't capable of it.
You choose.
What?
You give me 10 of them, or I will kill them all. Men, women, and children.
I have one name, Adolf Hitler. Okay, Adolf Hitler will be executed. Wait, you tried to trick me, you bastard!
Shoot me.
You have 5 seconds.
I can't.
You can't what?
Shoot them all!
No! Wait!
I have to admit, this scene is pretty well made. Instead of being shown through flashbacks, it's shown in its entirety, full of tense moments and Merrin's tough decisions as to who gets to live and who dies. It's way more impactful, so that's one thing this version did better than the other one. Cut to 3 years later in British Africa as Merrin is called by Father Francis and the Major to help with the excavation of a church down south.
The site is right west of Lake Rudolph in the Turkana district. It's early Christian, which makes for quite a mystery given its location.
The Cardinal wants to be sure that the site's religious aspects are given proper consideration. Part of Father Francis's job will be to see to that.
Are you an archaeologist?
You're not the sole person with an interest here.
I'm having some serious deja vu. I swear I'm reliving this scene all over again. I just hope the extra paycheck is worth all the trouble.
If you agree as well, I can renew your visa immediately. We all must make our little deals with the devil, Merrin.
So of course the two priests travel to the area where we meet the same characters from before.
Well then, how far are we from the site?
Where? Behind the wall? It is the wall! It's good to know that they shot the church on location instead of those obviously fake looking sets.
Which means a distance of... The stones look almost new.
But the wind and sun up here.
Well, they should be badly weathered. The church must have been deliberately buried right after it was built.
They do build up the mystery of the church like before, but personally I think the other version did it better with more build-up and development. And also the church's dome looks like a nipple. So that's one point to the other film. I see where this is going.
Our friend is back.
Chichi. Come for food and water again.
We had another visit from from that boy today.
Chichi?
Why don't they help him?
They think he's cursed. What he needs is sustained treatment.
So basically, he's like the town's leper. Wow, 2005 and they still couldn't get the CGI hyenas to look remotely realistic. They have not improved since last time. Merrin finds Cheche lying on the ground and takes him to the infirmary, and later on he has a bizarre nightmare. Do you want to see more of this nightmare? Well, too bad, as they abruptly cut to the protagonist entering the church. Though not as creepy as the original, it makes up for it with its beautiful art.
Man, look at the figures.
Dude, our goofy eyes!
Yes.
But strange things start to happen with the animals.
The cattle killed them. Now they die up into it.
No, it was the hyenas who committed suicide upon seeing their CGI reflection. Fearing trouble from the locals, the Major and his soldiers are called in to guard the church.
What do you think, they count them? You think they count them every night?
Might do.
Might do.
Well, hello characters who appear for the first time on screen.
I tell you, they got thousands of the things. Just a handful would make us rich for the rest of our lives.
Or get us hung.
Yeah? Well, they can't hang us for having a look now, can they?
As they try to steal some of the treasure, one of the local women starts to give birth. They are recycling footage from the other film. I'm not joking! It's the exact same shot being used again, and they do it a few more times throughout the film. They find the soldiers from before dead and with far less blood than last time, and the Major wants to find those responsible.
Get that man out of here.
She almost saw what happened, Major. He says he saw the two soldiers argue. One killed the other and then stabbed himself.
The devil are you saying?
I'm supposed to accept this was some sort of acrobatic ritual murder and suicide.
Who says it can't be possible? There's always a first time.
I've been lenient with you, people chewer. But warn the elders that unless they hand over the men that did this, life in these parts will become distinctly less pleasant.
But of course, he arrests several people and intimidates them into confessing.
I'll give them one more chance for that person to reveal the murderer's name.
Major!
Mind your own, priest.
Major, stop there!
If a reason for fear is what you need, then I can oblige.
Wow, the Major is really nasty in this version. Not that his counterpart had much to do anyway.
Hold that man! Sir, to the car, sir.
Things don't get better the next day as only a few children attend school.
They come to school because they think if they do not come, maybe Jesus Christ might kill them too.
Jesus Christ did not kill that young woman. The British Major did. And it was very, very wrong.
I didn't touch them inappropriately, I swear. What is up with these movies killing children?
What did he say?
He said that he had to kill them to stop the Christian evil from spreading.
And for that he had to murder the kids. A miracle does happen as Cheche's body recovers from all its injuries very quickly without explanation, which makes Francis think it's the work of God.
Maybe you are the one proof of God in this terrible place. Because you're certainly the only innocent creature.
No, I'm allergic to Christianity.
Don't ever touch me with that again, priest!
Nobody believes Francis when he explains it to them.
You're still recovering from that blow to the head, Father.
That's an awfully weak attempt to explain this away. What about the burn on his forehead? Did I imagine that?
It's an injury in the rough shape of a cross.
Yes, a scar that just so happens to resemble a cross, but it doesn't. And they never wonder how he got it in just a short amount of time.
What harm could there be in his being baptized?
A great deal.
You could try asking him. He's awake now.
They ask the possessed Cheche if he wants to be baptized, and surprisingly, he agrees to it.
Good, Cheche, good.
He wants to do it in the church.
We see the Major again, who looks rather distraught.
I shall need you to give Mr. Merrin a message. Tell him I know now how it's been for him all these years.
Really? I didn't expect that from you.
Other than...
Stop! Jesus! That was unexpected, but I guess this death is less embarrassing than trying to kill a moth with a gun in your mouth.
What do you make of that, sodden, Major?
I don't know. But get on the radio to town. I want all available men up here on the double.
The natives threaten to start a war unless the church is buried and the soldiers leave, but of course the British Empire is not going to do that. Francis and Rachel take the possessed Cheche to the church, where he reveals his true self. I'm flying. Alleluia.
I warned you about that, priest.
I don't know why I had to go through this baptism, but that's beside the point.
Book of Rituals. I have a copy. I've got to get to town.
Goodbye, Rachel. I'm leaving you alone to deal with Pazuzu. I am no use at all. And he was so evil that he lost all of his hair. The doors are magically sealed, and they find Father Francis, who has been shot with arrows.
Give me a hand!
The hyenas are starting to look more realistic.
Yes. Unction, Father.
I just realized there is no God. It was all in vain.
You'll need the Book of Roman Rituals. You'll need it for the rite of exorcism.
You can't make that decision. The Archbishop needs to be contacted.
There's no time.
Father Francis dies, and Merrin is able to get inside the church again, and to everyone's surprise, Rachel is still alive.
Get out.
You don't want to be killed by the half-naked hairless golem.
You call me cruel. Did Father Francis mention me?
He called you Satan.
You hate God, Merrin. And why not? God gives you guilt.
Personally, I've always viewed the Christian God as a self-centered genocidal narcissist. Strike me down if I'm wrong.
Never talk to me like that again.
There is one thing you can do. You can cease to care. Run. Run, Merrin. Run.
Run, because I'm not going to bother myself chasing you. Merrin prepares to perform Checha's exorcism, while the natives are preparing for battle covered in war paint in their own version of whiteface.
Lord have mercy on
You know, if it weren't for those lions, we'd be running the joint. Yeah, man, I hate lions.
Merrin finds the demon who hasn't left the temple this whole time. He's not in a hurry, he has a lot of free time. This holy water is too spicy for me.
And ill will, O Lord, deliver us from lightning and tempest.
Don't you want to go back? You can undo the events of that day.
From everlasting death, through his holy...
Don't you want to go back?
You, priest. What's your name?
They've gone back to the beginning of the film. They're trapped in a time loop like in Groundhog Day.
You begin to irritate me, Father.
Actually, it's a vision of Merrin trying to change the events of that day, but no matter how much he tries, the same innocent people get killed anyway.
You did what you could. You laid down your life. But God decided to kill them anyway.
Through thy coming. St. Thomas, pray for us. St. Matthew.
The demon is so powerful that he managed to bring the Aurora Borealis all the way to Africa.
Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen. Yes.
I will destroy you.
Through thy nativity, O Lord, deliver. Through the coming of the Holy Ghost, Satan!
Don't be ridiculous. This demon who has been able to possess people and animals, manipulate their minds and change the landscape is getting easily defeated by a single priest who up until now hasn't prayed in years.
Repel, O Lord, the power of this evil prince!
The demon is exorcised as he goes on to possess a hyena, but all the violence is stopped with no further deaths and there's peace and love again.
Anyone ask me about this place, sir? I didn't see a thing. They won't get anything out of me.
Who would believe that there was an Aurora Borealis here? That's crazy.
I've got myself a new helper.
And so Merrin wanders into the distance to become a priest again, and to finally escape this prequel time loop once and for all. And that was Dominion. Is it better or worse? That's hard to say. Comparing these two films is like having to decide between having cancer or AIDS. Both are terrible, with the slight difference that one is going to annoy you more than the other one. The Rennie Harlin version was more suspenseful, scary, and had better atmosphere, but it also had cheap sets, cheap special effects, and several plot holes. The Paul Schrader version still has terrible special effects, the demon isn't very intimidating, and the story lacks mystery, proper scares, and David Bradley. But, on the other hand, it had better character development. The deaths were more impactful, the confrontation between Merrin and the demon was well written, and the ending is more satisfactory, even if it was a bit anticlimactic. So when it comes down to it, I think Dominion is the better Exorcist prequel, but not by much. I am a standard critic, and happy 4th anniversary!